In many cases, a leader's contributions and impact far outstrip their short tenure with an organization. The Friends of the Babbitt Public Library certainly feel that way about volunteer extraordinaire Bev Bialke. Bev joined their ranks as a member in January 2024 and assumed the role of board secretary in 2025. In short order, she took on a leadership role with the Friends' ongoing and lucrative White Elephant Sale, best described as creative rummage sale with all proceeds benefiting the library. Bev also supports the Friends' biggest fundraiser, an annual Up North Craft and Vendor Extravaganza. These include securing grants to cover event food expenses and by extension maximize the program's profit. No task is too big or too small for Bev. She is always eager to lend a hand, whether it's assembling furniture, fixing equipment, or even learning how to make cotton candy for a children's program. She is well known to the Babbitt Public Library's youngest patrons, and not just for the cotton candy. Bev volunteers to lead a preschool story time when her time allows her to. Her animated read alouds and warm presence make her a favorite presenter, not to mention a wonderful ambassador for the Friends.
In Minnesota's library community, few will ever rival Sheila DeChantal's talent for launching groundbreaking Friends programs that are successful, sustainable, and scalable. Over her long tenure with the Friends, including a full decade as president, Sheila has stewarded the group's marquee summer fundraiser, Wine and Words, a gala unlike any other in the Brainerd Lakes area, and a magnet for book lovers who come from as far away as the Twin Cities to hear a powerhouse roster of authors. Other highlights from Sheila's portfolio include the aptly named Books, Burgers, and Brews Book Club, a popular monthly happening. For younger readers, Sheila helmed the Friends' efforts to bring an annual Battle of the Books to area school children. Each year, 200 plus students participate in this fun summer reading challenge, which is anchored by free books for participants, author visits, and a grand trivial battle each September. Never one to rest on her laurels, Sheila is already hard at work co-chairing the Friends' newest program, Words by the Water, best described as a lakeside literary salon with some of Minnesota's best writers. Sheila credits her track record to transferable skills learned through a long career as an event specialist and catering director, but her colleagues at the Friends of the Brainerd Public Library know that there's more to the equation. Sheila DeChantal is simply one of a kind.
Blue Earth County Library in Mankato is one of the few in Minnesota that can boast a permanent year-round bookstore. Keeping the Pages Past bookstore staffed and stocked requires the coordinated efforts of no fewer than 60 volunteers. For many years, each has looked to Colleen Campbell for inspiration and instruction. Colleen is very much the face of the Friends, working diligently over the past few years to revive interest and participation in our volunteer work. She has a gift for putting people at ease, and her enthusiasm for the library's mission is contagious. Over the years, the Friends volunteers at Pages Past have generated significant funds for the Blue Earth County libraries, helped in part by generous community donations and innovative sales and marketing techniques through an active Facebook page and monthly sales in the bookstore. If her contributions to the Friends began and ended with her role as manager of Pages Past, Colleen would already be a standout friend worth celebrating. However, she has also made an enormous and lasting impact on the organization's governance structure. When the COVID-19 pandemic forced a hiatus on book sale operations, Colleen pivoted and took on the role of president of the Friends of the Deep Valley Libraries during this particularly tumultuous period. In that capacity, which she still holds today, Colleen worked hard behind the scenes to revitalize the group's board structure, replenish the ranks, and revise the organization's bylaws.
Over many years of dedicating countless hours, Mary Ann Bernat has been an indispensable part of the Friends of the Delano Library Group, providing stability and a solid foundation of enthusiasm and energy. Year after year, if need be, Mary Ann has willingly served as an officer, this year serving as our president. Each spring and fall, she helps our local quilters and our local artists put up and take down the displays of their beautiful creations, along with producing the event advertising and the event program. The same can be said of the multifaceted planning process we use for our summer fundraising event, Pizza in the Park. Additionally, Mary Ann has resurrected the Friends of the Delano Library Facebook page and serves as its manager. On her own, Mary Ann has repaired chipped wall corners, painted interior and exterior walls, cemented between granite donor nameplates, and facilitated the repair of broken staff chairs. With pleasure and with gratitude, we honor Mary Ann Bernat as our standout friend.
Jason and Melanie Dinham are unusual among members of Douglas County Friends and Foundation, and it's safe to say unusual among Friends members generally. The couple live in Fargo, North Dakota. That's more than 100 miles from Alexandria, location of the Douglas County Library and Jason's hometown. They do far more than sending their annual dues. During the pivotal but hectic prep period, husband and wife can always be found in the trenches hauling boxes and arranging books. They also contribute refreshments for their fellow volunteers. Each year, Jason's salary for hours committed to the sale is matched by his employer and donated to the Friends. When back home in Fargo, the couple's passion for books and libraries is matched by a love for the commitment to animals in need. The Dinhams foster cats, specializing in rescues who require some type of medical assistance. Many summers, they will drive home from Alexandria after a long book sale shift to tend to their rescues and back the next morning for more.
Barb Brylinke helms the book sales for the Friends of the Heritage Library in Lakeville. Barb is always complimented on the neat and organized bookshelves at the book sale, as well as the promotional materials and signage used to make residents aware of and excited for the opportunity. In addition to book sales, Barb heads up the Friends' annual contributions to Ready, Set, Achieve, the Lakeville Area School District's annual school readiness event. Its intent is to level the playing field for all students by ensuring each incoming pupil is equipped for what's needed for success, from basic school supplies to immunizations. The Friends donate more than 500 books each year to this worthy event, and it would not happen without Barb. She is also a ready and willing volunteer for the group's other key activities, including the One Book, One Lakeville Community Read series. Library Director Stephanie Opstad shared that Barb has a sunny and generous spirit, always bringing positivity and a smile to the library, meetings, and events. Longtime board member Loretta Ellsworth added, to say that she's a cherished part of our friends group would be an understatement.
Jacque Gordon is often called the founding mother of the Friends of the Monticello Library, and for just cause. She co-founded the organization in early 2004 and served as the inaugural president for a full decade as the Friends assumed its mature shape. She remains an active member today, more than 20 years later. Now, don't let that long tenure fool you, though. Jacque is not a Monticello lifer. Prior to retiring, the educator spent a full 27 years of her career in, of all places, Hawaii. In 2006, Jacque spearheaded a Friends partnership with the Monticello Arts Council to fundraise a bench sculpture to grace the front of the library building. Despite being relatively new to Wright County, Jacque proved extremely effective at securing meetings and soliciting major gifts, totaling $9,000 for a beautiful installation by local artist Parker McDonald. In a news article about the unveiling of Come Read With Me, Jacque is quoted as saying, "I'm so glad that I summoned the courage to venture way out of my comfort zone to see this project through." Other highlights from Jacque's second career as a Friends leader include partnering with library staff on a major building redesign in 2005, rejuvenating the library's summer reading program in 2005, and helping to launch or maintain 2 literacy initiatives, Books for Babies and 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten.
Close readers of William Kent Kruger's novels may remember the character Lynn Belgea from Northwest Angle, published in 2011. She is based on a real-life friend of the library of the same name. Lynn Belgea has been an integral part of the Ramsey County Library Friends since joining the board in 2008. Lynn chaired the group's membership committee from 2008 to 2018, a period when member households increased by 39%, from 629 to 876. The Friends credit that growth to Lynn's leadership and integration of new member perks, including early access to book sales and members-only tours of newly remodeled libraries. She has likewise been active in the Friends' capital campaigns, particularly a 2017 push to rebuild the RCL branch in Shoreview. Lynn has been an enthusiastic and generally easy to spot participant at the Friends Galas, held annually from 2014 to 2020. Her more eye-catching themed outfits include a homespun Mary Poppins costume. If you attend other Friends events with any frequency, you may have come across Lynn without even knowing. She is one of only a handful of volunteers who don the full-body dog costume to embody Booker, the Friends mascot. Booker is not actually allowed to talk about the Friends mission, but Lynn does so every chance she gets. Her favorite quote is from Harry Potter: "When in doubt, go to the library."
You would be hard-pressed to find anyone who can boast a longer association with the Red Wing Public Library than Nancy Thorson. She grew up in the area, but outside the city limits, making her ineligible for free library loans. Starting at the tender age of 8, Nancy saved up her pocket money for a non-resident library card. Few who saw her gumption then would be surprised that she grew up to choose librarianship and bookshop ownership as her vocations. Nancy joined the Friends of the Red Wing Library over 20 years ago. Over this time, she has served as secretary from 2009 to 2011, president from 2012 to 2013, vice president from 2023 to 24, and on committees and working groups, too numerous to name. During the same period, the Friends book sale has grown from a small afternoon event held on the sidewalk to a 4-day extravaganza, supplemented with a silent auction. When the enterprise grew too large for the Friends to manage alone, Nancy coordinated outside assistance through the state of Minnesota's Sentenced to Serve STS program. She was likewise a key member behind the Friends' fruitful book donation and service at the Goodhue County Detention Center. She also is a regular volunteer presence at the Minnesota Children's Book Festival held annually in Red Wing.
In 1997, a friend of Elizabeth Ritman's invited her to join the Friends of the Rochester Public Library. It wasn't a difficult sell. Even so, no one she met that day in 1997 could have guessed that Elizabeth would become a guiding force within the Friends for the next 3 decades. Colleagues elected Elizabeth to the board of directors for the first time in 2005. She has since served a total of 16 years to date, including stints as vice president and president. Across her long tenure with the Friends, Elizabeth has participated in almost every major book sale. She has staffed tables for our group at off-site community events, including the Summer Mardi Gras held in Mayo Park. In addition, Elizabeth was responsible for orchestrating various special events at Rochester's historic Plummer House, including Poets at the Plummer House and Book Talk with Friends, a program name that was conceptualized long before the hashtag Book Talk became popular on the TikTok video platform. Last but not least, Elizabeth has made herself a liaison for and an asset to Rochester Public Library, representing the Friends as part of a strategic planning process in 2012 to 13, and more recently on the engagement team for the library's latest long-range planning exercise.
In 1934, novelist Thomas Wolfe opined that you can't go home again. Jan Pepelnjak is living proof that this is not so. Jan grew up in Virginia, Minnesota before embarking on a long, adventurous career in teaching overseas. After retiring, the globe-trekking, world-wise Iron Ranger knew exactly where she wanted to settle down, her hometown, where the family's roots run deep. Several area businesses even still carry the name Pepelnjak. After considering her options, Jan took on several library commitments as her principal way to give back to the community she loves. She applied for and received an appointment to the Virginia Library Commission through 2026. Earlier this year, she was tapped by the region's Arrowhead Library System to sit on its board of directors as well. Unsurprisingly, Jan is also active in the governance and day-to-day running of the Friends of the Virginia Library. Past President Carol Gunderson says that all parties benefit from this state of play. Jan has really opened up lines of communication for us. Jan has proven herself a major asset in other ways as well. When the Virginia Public Library's longtime treasurer rotated out in 2021, she gamely stepped up to fill that void. Most recently, after the library hired a new youth program coordinator this past spring, Jan collaborated with her and area businesses on an ambitious community-wide scavenger hunt.